welcome to Katrina's Creations. This is episode 299. Next week we hit our 300th Saturday video. It's also my 6-year anniversary next week for being on YouTube, so there will be a giveaway next week. Make sure you tune in to check it out. So let's get started for this week. Finished objects, I have a couple. First, I have a gold colored pumpkin that I already have in a box to go to the craft fair. As you're watching this, Kim and I are at a craft fair. I'm filming this Saturday or Friday afternoon, so it's already packed, but I did take a picture. So you'll see an orange pumpkin and a yellow pumpkin. It's the yellow pumpkin. That's the one I made this week, so I'll show you what it looked like. And the other two things I made another kitty hat. Here's where the ears go, right here. And it's a little pumpkin hat. You can see I've got leaves on it, and there's little ties here to tie it on. I'm making one more little cat hat. I'm working on it at work, and that's going to be a Ravens football hat because I work in Maryland, so the football team is the Baltimore Ravens, and I happen to have some purple and black yarn. So the other one I finished, I had started this last week. This was the captain's hat, and I just, this week, just did this little diddly-do here and here to make it look like the little epaulette things, or whatever they call these little things. So that is the captain's hat. So this one was specifically requested. So I have that, and yeah, that's my finished objects. Now we get to my work in progress. Remember, I just dropped the pumpkin hat. Remember this, that I jokingly, it's called the Forevermore poncho, and I jokingly was calling it the Forever poncho because it was taking forever to get around. I started looking closer at this pattern and realized I made a big mistake. If you look closely at this pattern, you will see there is a little row of eyelets in between the chevrons. Mine didn't have this little row of eyelets. Now, I'm a fairly experienced knitter, so the more I look at it, I can see how I made the mistake, but I also can see that it could have been worded a little bit better. There are two charts that create this. There is a lace pattern B, which is this, the chevrons, and then there's lace pattern A, which is this section. And on the instructions, it said round 1, complete, or do lace section A, and then lace section B to complete. So when I made mine, I went entirely through lace section A, all the rows, and then I started onto lace section B, not understanding that they wanted you to do them together. So you do one row of lace section A, one row of lace section B, and so on. So once I figured it out, it explains so much, because I had actually had to put extra cords onto my interchangeable needles, and they were probably about 45 inches long, and they were already getting stuffed. And it said on the pattern, it said that the final stitch count for the size I was making was going to be 440 stitches, and I had well over 600. Yeah, it kind of resembled, I did take a picture before I ripped the entire thing out, so I'm going to insert some pictures, but just think those Elizabethan ruffled collars, that's what this looks like. Oh yes, Katrina was knitting an Elizabethan collar. That's kind of what it looked like. No wonder it was taking me so long to get around. I have almost caught up to where I was before, doing it right this time. And here is what it looks like now. You can see the little eyelet sections right here in between the chevrons. The chevrons are just getting started because they're tiny at the top. But yeah, this is working out. The stitch count is working out. And it's also not roughly. It's not an Elizabethan collar. So yeah, we're glad about that. So that has been my bane of my existence this week, because not only having to rip that apart, I had about 600 yards that I ripped out, because each skein of yarn that I have is, I think, 107, and I had completed 6, or almost completed 6 skeins. I did a lot of ripping out and then re-knitting, and it gets confusing because the lace A only has 12 rows and lace B is like 90 some, so you have to keep repeating some of the rows from lace A, and they don't necessarily match number wise to lace B, which is normal for this type of pattern. It's just trying to keep it straight in your head. So yeah, it's been a challenge. So, but I think we're on the right track now. So yeah, that's what I've been working on this week, and I have gotten, after ripping out, I am about 3 inches into it at this point. So yeah, that's my work in progress. So show and tell, I have 2 photos for this week. So I don't think I can even find music short enough for that. So, but we'll see. So I'm going to insert the pictures of what I do have. Now, if you would like to see your project featured in Show and Tell, you can contact me through my email address, which is KatrinasCreations@yahoo.com. Tell me about the pattern and send some pictures, or you can message me over on Facebook. It's Katrina Knits, and or you can post it directly on my Facebook page, which is Katrina Knits. Either of those 3 will work, and I will assume I therefore have your permission, and I will put them into Show and Tell. So that's what we have so far for Show and Tell this week. It's short and sweet. So, acquisitions. I did a little shopping. Yeah. Knit Crate ran a really, really good sale. I mean, they apparently had a backup of yarn in the warehouse. They had, it was super cheap, super cheap. It was like if you bought 5 skeins, you got 60% off. If you bought 6 skeins, you got 70% off. If you bought 8 or more skeins, you got 80% off. I bought 8 skeins, 2 skeins, pretty much of each of the things I was interested in, and I paid a total of $29. Yeah, for 8 skeins of yarn. I mean, some of them were like $3 and $4 a piece. Or did I even pay that much? The shipping actually cost almost as much as the yarn did. The shipping was $13.99. So, yeah, I got a really good sale, because a lot of the stuff, like I said, was like $3.29 or $3.20, something like that. It was like ridiculously cheap. So I actually bought 2 skeins of 4 different yarns that I already have, so I can combine them, and I'll have 4 skeins of each, because I already have 2 skeins of some of these colors, and that way I'll have enough to do something like a top or a sweater or a large shawl or an Afghan, things like that. So yeah, so when that comes in, we will have an unboxing. So yes, that will be an upcoming video in the future whenever it comes in. I'm still trying to get my order straightened out with Annie's. I thought I had it taken care of last week, and I still haven't heard back from them. They shorted me 2 skeins of yarn and instead sent me a set of interchangeable light up crochet hooks. Very nice, and I don't mind keeping them, but I didn't order those. I ordered the bulky yarn. I ordered 2 skeins of bulky yarn to make some more hats for the craft fair that I have to take it to the December 3rd craft fair that Kim and I are doing. So yeah, I have to call them and try once again for the third time to get this straightened out and figure out what is happening. So upcoming videos this week, Wednesday's video is going to be a tutorial for the knitted pumpkin that I showed you I finished this week, and the same 10 stitch repeat for this cable pattern you can use to make the hat and the cowl that I've showed in the past. The orange one that I showed last week, those also can be made with the same stitch pattern. So you'll see on the video, I kind of talk about it and what you need to put on, cast on in order to make those things. So make sure you tune in Wednesday, because you can learn to make a pumpkin, but you can apply it to a hat or a cowl as well. So that is the video for Wednesday. So what am I reading? I finished the book I was reading, which was called Troubled Treats, and that was by Jessica Beck. And I'm now working on the next one in the series. There's like 37 or 40 books in the Donut series. It's a Donut Mystery series, or Mystery Donut series. Donut Mystery series, I think. It's written by Jessica Beck, and the ones I'm reading are from like 2014 or 15, because I'm just getting caught up through the series. So I am reading Bad Bites right now. They all have donut recipes in them. And I'm actually reading this one online, so I don't have a picture to show you. But I can tell you briefly what the book is about. I'm about maybe a quarter of the way through the book so far. They're a very fast read. They're not long books. So far, what has happened is the police chief's brother was getting ready to retire from working at the library, and he's found dead in a clown suit. Yeah, so of course, the police chief can't investigate, so the main character, Suzanne Hart, and her girlfriend, Grace, and her boyfriend, what's his name, Jake, who is a police inspector. He stepped in as the police chief, and so he's doing the police chief investigating, and Suzanne and her friend are working together to try to solve the mystery. So yeah, so that's what's happened so far. I think there was a dead body within the first couple pages, so it holds your attention. But yeah, they're good, they're lighthearted. Somebody laughed at last week's description where I said they're a clean mystery, a clean murder book. Yeah. Yeah, there's no gory details, there's no graphic details, there's no bad language, nothing like that. So they're a nice, pleasant read if you like reading about murder. So anyway, that's what I am reading. Now it's time for... Now, in our Come and Get It section this week, the only sale that I know of right now, well, actually I know of two. First off, Knit Picks. October is their 20-year anniversary, so just go check out the link is down below in the description box. But if you go to Knit Picks, I know they're running, I believe it's 40% off of their books. They're running 30% off of their Felice yarns, which are your sock yarns. They also are offering like free patterns every week. There's a new free pattern they're putting out, so you can check that out. So that's what's going on at Knit Picks. Lion Brand, for the next, I forget when the sale ends. It's like Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, the sale ends. But they are running 30% off of their yarn and their kits right now. Then I looked at Annie's, and Annie says they're running 20% off of most everything, but then I looked and it expires today. It already technically expired 12 hours ago from when I'm filming this, so I don't know what's going on there. So we aren't going to count that sale because I don't know if it's for real or not, or if they just forgot to change their website. Yeah, don't know what's going on with that. So don't count on that sale. So those are the two that I know of. And of course there is Mary Maxim, Jimmy Bean's Wools, Leisure Arts, Ice Yarns. All of them are down below in the description box. If you see where I've written what the video is about and it says more, click the more, it'll drop down, and then you can click to the different yarn sites and check out. I think most of them I have set it up so when you click on it, it takes you to the clearance section, because that's where I do most of my shopping. Yes, cheap is implanted on my brain. So that is it for this week. It's kind of a short video because I don't have much to share. I've been making an Elizabethan roughly collar. So yeah, we're hoping the second time's the charm on that one. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye, everybody.